Welcome back to Cozy Gardening, and welcome to my garden. We just moved into this house, and I am transforming the garden into a place that can be a cozy sanctuary, not just for us, but for all of the wildlife around us who need a place to go. So I thought today, when we really are in the middle of winter now, would be the perfect time to go through, sit down with you and talk about my plans for the year ahead for this garden. It is winter and the ground is frozen, which is great news for me because some of the seeds I've planted need to go through a period of frost and hopefully they will flower in the spring. The snowdrops are peeking through, as are the tulips. And as this is our first year in the garden, who knows what secrets lay dormant under the soil. A carpet of snow covers the ground, and in its surface, fox prints. We saw the fox first on New Year's Day, which feels like a very good omen. I'm determined for them to keep coming back and find sanctuary in our garden. So I've been leaving water and apples out for them, and they've definitely been eaten. We are also welcoming the birds to our garden. I got this little bird feeder for Christmas. Look how cute. It has a side for seeds and one for water. So if the birds are looking around in the frozen world for food, hopefully they will find this here. I have a lot of plans and dreams for the garden this year. If you've been here before, you'll know that my cozy gardening philosophy is that we can do cozy garden chores as a respite in a crazy world, and we can also make cozy homes for wildlife. So to turn this space into a cozy wildlife paradise, there are so many things I want to add and try. But this is the first time I've really been a gardener. I've never had guardianship over a patch of land and been able to do what I want with it. And so now I do have an opportunity to look after this little patch. I want to make it something that can flourish for us and for the wildlife around us, but also for future generations. I have all these lofty dreams in my head, but when I look at the garden, it is a little bit overwhelming. There's so much I need to learn and so much I need to do. But I have a plan. I've decided I'm going to make for myself a cozy gardening personal curriculum. I'm going to learn as I go and do projects for the garden and break it all up into chunks so it doesn't get overwhelming. This winter day is going to be a cozy planning session. I'm going to talk about my inspiration for the garden, my dream projects and plans, and then turn all of that into a structure that I can do little by little throughout the year. Also, before we get into the video, I wanted to shout out my friend Riley. You may have noticed the necklace that I'm wearing. Riley is a jeweler with a focus on sustainability and inspiration from nature, and made me this cozy gardening necklace, which I love, and that is also from his Palestine collection. Part of the money from the sale of these necklaces goes towards a family in Palestine. And so while Riley did gift this to me, I also donated to the fundraiser, and I've linked the fundraiser below. If you are someone who likes nature-inspired jewellery and wants to support a small business, I will link Riley's beautiful creations below. So if you haven't heard of a personal curricula, this is one of my favourite social media trends to emerge for a really long time. It was started by a TikTok user called Parmesan Princess, and basically the idea is that you pick something that you are really interested in and you write for yourself a curriculum, modules, assignments, readings, and you kind of structure your learning on this topic in this way. It could be in literally anything you want. There are loads of videos out there of people planning different things or talking about the different topics that they're looking into, and there's some really cool and niche ones out there. But the idea is, if you value being a lifelong learner and trying new things, it's a really good way to structure that idea. I'm someone who is always picking up books I want to read on topics I'm interested in, and I'm really motivated to develop deep understanding in certain areas, but sometimes I just pick up random information and I don't necessarily integrate it. So I think this is why the personal curriculum idea has really appealed to me. It will be nice to take what I'm reading and then directly apply it to my garden and turn what's on the pages into something tangible that I can say that I know how to do. I'm personally going to be using this framework from Dr. Rebecca Marks on Substack to outline my curriculum, so if you want to do the same for yourself, I will link her method below. So to start, I just want to run you through some of my inspirations for the garden. There are a few different readings and things that have been really influential in my decision specifically to wildlife garden and to focus on nature in the garden. And so I wanted to share them with you, and I wanted to see if returning to them brings up any specific ideas of plants or arrangements or anything that I want to explore. Okay, starting with one of my biggest inspirations for the garden, which is Robin Wall-Kimmerer. Robin is an Indigenous American and she's also a botanist, so she writes a lot about plants and connection to the earth and about kind of the human place in the world. All of her books are really kind of powerful. I was thinking about my favourite books, and this book, Braiding Sweetgrass, it's a bit of a cliche that it would be a favourite for someone like me. I was thinking about how much I remember so many of the chapters in this book, and I think that's a testament to how good it is. All of the vignettes, there are such specific images that I remember without having to reread this book. But the first thing that I read of hers was in this book, the climate book, Greta Thunberg compilation that my friend bought me. And it's actually the last essay in the book, because I think Robin, her whole thing is kind of hope and, you know, there is wisdom, there are things we can do. And in this essay, it's called Mending Our Relationship with the Earth. She talks so much about her garden, the land she looks after. She says she has 7 acres, so, you know, it's an American garden. We don't have that kind of space in the UK. She talks about this species of bird called the oriole, which I'm probably saying wrong, but they're these beautiful birds that travel for miles and miles. And she talks about how she is able to make in her garden a habitat for them. So she has all of this bramble and she has all of these places that they can kind of dip in and hide. She talks about her garden being an oasis because she's let it grow wild and she's let all of these kind of natural habitats emerge, and then every year she gets these orioles returning to the garden when they migrate. They kind of look down and they can see, oh, there's a patch with, you know, the plants we need and everything we need is there. So that is really, really inspiring to me. This was the first thing that I read and I was like, when I have a garden that I can look after properly of my own, this is going to be how I look after it. I feel like I'm a guardian of the land that I look after. We're all just moving through. None of us are going to be here permanently forever. We're always just moving through the land that we're on, and so I think being a good guardian of that land means making it something that can house lots and lots of things that's not just you. And yeah, this essay really is what set me off on this journey originally. And then in Braiding Sweetgrass, one of the things that I want for the garden is to have it be a place where we make food. And one of the chapters in here talks about a planting method called the 3 sisters. And this is where you plant a sweet corn, a bean and a pumpkin or gourd together. And planting those 3 really close to each other means that they all grow better together than they would separately. And so I kind of want to learn about these planting methods and then other successful organic methods. So that part of this book is a big inspiration for my curriculum as well. And I want to have a module that is going to be all about vegetable gardening and maybe some Indigenous practices with that as well. Another inspiration I have for the garden is this foragers calendar that I bought last year. This is basically a list of all of the native plants that grow. I think this is UK based. The author's from Dorset. So this is a list of all of the edible foods that grow wild in the UK. And because I'm interested in simulating wild environments and also getting food from the garden, I'm going to be going through this and basically working out, okay, what can I grow at different seasons? So can I put garlic out, that kind of thing, so that we've got kind of a wild harvest in the garden. So that is one of the inspirations for the garden as well. And then finally, I've picked up loads of random books on gardening. So these are just a few. My friend Sarah has lent me this book, I need to give it back, about wildflowers, and then she gave me these about wildlife gardening. These books have things about different animals that might come to the garden and how to provide for them. So I think these are going to be kind of a cornerstone of the curriculum I make. And then I picked up this at a random secondhand bookshop. Bob Flowerdew, my mum had heard of him, but it's about organic gardening. It's got loads of things for how to make fertilizer, how to look after the garden, different things. But it also has at the end, on this really, we wouldn't print books like this now. It's like a photo with text printed over it. It's like so hard to read. But it has a yearly calendar and it has jobs to go in each section. And I get the impression that to have a successful garden, I do need to have a kind of regular chores list of things that I'm regularly doing. And I think this is going to be my kind of textbook for learning how to just keep garden maintenance going. So that is the purpose of this book for me. And because he's got this organic focus, which is important to me. I really don't want to be using pesticides or weed killer or anything in the garden. It is unnecessary and it's not my jam.
For this first step of planning my curriculum, I'm literally just putting all of my thoughts out onto the page. This is things I'd like to include in the garden, things I'd like to learn more about, and then I'll see what I can do. Everything from things I'd like to grow to creatures I'd like to see, and the things I picked up from my inspiration. I'm going to be planning my curriculum on paper. I know analogue is a bit of a trend at the moment, but I really do find it so much easier to work through and to access my thoughts when I write onto notebooks and on paper versus something online. Also this year, I have been using lots and lots of stickers and kind of junk journaling for the first time, and it really is keeping me motivated to stay organised as someone who is traditionally not very good at being organised. So if you are a bit of a chaos gremlin like me who needs dopamine with their to-do lists, I would really recommend stickers or getting some collage materials, cutting up magazines and things around you, and giving yourself permission to decorate as you go. It really does help. After getting out my initial ideas, I wanted to think about them more in the context of my garden. So for the second step, I'm drawing out the plan of my garden and working out what my dream layout would look like. Next, I'm going back to my brain dump and adding any thoughts that the layout exercise brought up. And then I'm going in with my coloured pens and just grouping any ideas that go together. Are there any themes that emerge? Anywhere I can kill two birds with one stone, so to speak? Anything that works together or that can be linked, I'm circling with the same colour. And then these themes and groupings will help me to narrow down what I need to focus on when it comes to the modules of my curriculum. Okay, so that is all of my brain dumping, my inspiration. And so now let's talk about what I actually have planned for the year. So when I was doing my brain dump, there were kind of 4 topics that emerged, and then there's a kind of 5th one. And so those are now my 5 modules, my 5 topics that I'm going to be studying this year. So I'm going to be reading about these topics, and then I'm going to be taking what I've learned and practically applying it in the garden. So when I was going through my list, the 4 kind of groups that I identified was growing food. So that is fruit trees, that's growing a veg patch, that's growing some kind of wild plants in the garden that are good for foraging, maybe some more herbs in the garden. Then I want to plant lots of shrubs and trees, and I need to learn how to choose well for the soil type I have, all of that kind of thing that honestly is all so new to me. So I need to do some learning about how to choose trees and where to plant them, and then how to plant them, and then the practical part of that will be actually then planting and caring for the trees that I choose. Then I want to do a module that is basically creating the habitats for animals. I've called it building shelters for animals because I really want to put in some bird boxes, bat boxes, or like boxes. I really want to put in lots of little places for them in the garden. But also this is things like, how do I make sure that they've got food and water, food, water, shelter. That's the kind of golden trinity, holy trinity of what you need to provide for wildlife. And so for this one, I've kind of divided it in my head into mammals, reptiles, birds, and bugs. So I'm going to kind of complete a module on each one, and that will involve creating a habitat that's suitable for my chosen animal. And then the final one that came up is pond installation and maintenance. I really want a pond. I love frogs. I want some frogs in the garden. I really want some frogs in the garden. And so a pond is just a must for me. But I need to know where to install it, how to install it, how to maintain it, what plants to put around it. And then the practical point is obviously to install the pond. So those are the kind of 4 that came up. The kind of overarching thing that I think was missing, and that I think is going to be my focus first, is all about seasonal planning and maintenance. Why I'm calling it seasonal is because I want there to be kind of year-round colour in the garden. I really want there to be kind of year-round berries and fruits and like food sources all the year round in the garden. So when I'm doing all my other planning, I want to make sure that that is considered. But then the other thing is, I know that each of these things will have a time of year where it makes the most sense to do them. So as a starting module, my kind of first project is to do some reading and then work out what order do I do the rest of the projects for my year. And so the kind of practical outcome of my first module, which is all about seasonal planning, is to make a seasonal plan for the garden. Overall, I am so excited. The garden is such a blank slate and there is so much potential here. And I think this structure is going to be really good. This personal curriculum structure has just helped me to kind of work out what we're doing. And yeah, I'm so excited.
If you want to know what I'm going to be getting up to, I've posted a full breakdown of my curriculum over on my Substack. My blog is called Solid Ground, and it's where I post about seasonal change and other philosophical ideas that I'm working through. So if that sounds like your jam, go and check it out and give me a follow there. I'll link that and the other resources that I've mentioned below. So that is my cozy gardening wildlife curriculum for this year. I'm so excited to kind of go on this journey of learning how to look after the garden in this way and take you along for all of the projects that I'm going to be doing in the garden, and hopefully by the end of the year it's just going to look like a completely different space. And I know that, like the Orioles that Robin Wall Kimmerer wrote about, the things will come, the animals will come, and I'm so excited. So please tell me, what are you planning for the year ahead? What are you going to be learning? What are you going to be growing? I need some inspiration, so please tell me what you're going to be doing in your gardens. And thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Okay, bye.